Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Look at that 9 of Pentacles. This is gain. This is someone who is living a successful life, where the things that you're investing in are paying dividends, right? Everything that you've put time, effort, energy, and or money into is going to start paying you back with interest, right? There's a return on all of your investments. Now, whether this is financial or if it is more energetic, we'll see with some more cards here, right? I do feel that there is a financial component to your life. There are things that you have been putting your money into. I think they're going to start paying you back, okay? So I feel that there is sort of an increase happening in your financial life. Yeah. I think you're somebody that likes to see the visible signs of progress. You like to be able to look at a spreadsheet or at a timeline or something or a checklist and say, okay, we've gotten some of these things ticked off the list. You know, maybe you have a spreadsheet where when things happen, you sort of change it from a red to a green or to a black and blue or yellow, whatever colors you like. As indicators, something visual. I feel like you're a visual person, that you want to be able to see something in that, like you like a nice pie chart or something, you know, to kind of see like how far along we are in certain things. You probably have your budget in like a spreadsheet, a lot of different colors, you know, a lot of different formulas. You like to be able to look back, like look away from something and just kind of see it at a glance and see, okay, well, it's more green than red now, so that's a good sign, you know. And we like those. Sometimes it's harder to see those signs of progress, right? What's the difference between a mile and an inch and then just a mile? We don't see that little inch at the end of the mile, you know, or kilometer. Maybe it's a centimeter. You know, but this centimeter, it's changed. There has been progress. There has been movement. We can't always recognize it, you know. Let's put some more cards out on the table, though. Yeah, I feel like you're a very tactile person too. Yeah, like you. Very visual, but you like to work with your hands, doing something, I don't know, some kind of creative thing with your hands. Yeah. Let's put some more cards out here. We got that 4 of Cups. We've got the Death card. We've got the Hermit. That's what you're investing in, the Princess of Pentacles, because the Princess, we see that and we think, okay, this could become the Empress, right? It's going to transform into the Empress energy. Therefore, I'm going to put my time, effort, energy, and or money into this. And with a little bit of luck, things are going to happen. It's going to become the Empress, right? There's that 2 of Cups, the Ace of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Princess of Wands. Now we got the fire energy. There might be a pending investment for you that you're not so certain if it's worth it. It kind of feels like this is an investment in love, and maybe this is an investment in a passion project, right? But whatever this love is, now it doesn't have to be romance. Put your pitchforks away, all right? By the way, happy holidays to everybody watching. It's such a fun time of year, isn't it? The 2 of Cups, I think, is really the crux of the matter today. This is the card that's right in the middle of the table, and it's all about this love. You know, should I unite with this thing or should I not? Is it a worthwhile investment, or is this going to be fun for a minute, but then it's going to be, it's going to cost me too much. Sometimes this represents self-love. Sometimes this represents, do I merge with my purpose? Are you doing what your soul really wants you to do? Okay? Or are the two separated? Is there an urge to merge here? Is there a desire for union with you and either, it could be a person in your life. It could be a job. It could be a new skill, a new craft. It could be a new vocation. Job, vocation, different. Job's what pay the bills. The vocation is that it's something bigger than you. You're in service to something else, right? And so with the Two of Cups here, it's kind of like, I know you feel an urge to unite with this thing. And maybe it is a romance. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not leaning that way, but it could be. You feel the desire to eliminate this distance, this separateness, and to merge with this thing. But there's that part of you that's kind of doing the math with, they got the calculator and they're just thinking, I don't know if it adds up, right? And that's kind of what we see with some of the earth energy here. But I like our Princess of Wands at the end, I gotta say. It seems that card is really about you confronting your fears and just saying, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. Yeah. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go right here with Clark W. Griswold III, a.k.a. Sparky, right there on top, or at least for the holidays. We're not going to look at that card until the end. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. Let's do it together. Let's use our intuition. Okay. Now, interesting things here we see. Major Arcana, the Hermit and the Death card, right? The Hermit and the Death card. Sometimes the Hermit is about us shying away from our purpose. You got your back turned to the Two of Cups, right? These two. Your back is turned to the Two of Cups. If you choose not to, if you choose the path of isolation and separation from your true self, your true path, your purpose, your person, true love, soulmate, whatever this represents for you, I think that is the equivalent to a spiritual death. And that sounds harsh. Yeah, I know. But these are the two major arcana energies here. What we're seeing here is that there's a need for you to evolve. There's a need for transformation here. And I feel like you're somebody who is always working on this personal growth, personal development. You're confronted with something right now that you're just not sure if you should do it. You're on the precipice. You're on the threshold of something. Okay? And I think the mystery card is either going to be the Moon card or it's going to be the Eon Judgment card, right? Because I feel you're at the doorway. And there's just this fear. Now, we could get to the threshold and we could turn back. Because it's scary. It's scary to start living our life in that authentic way where we are doing what our soul is telling us to do. Right? In a real way. So we've got our two majors anyway. We've got a little fire at the end. We got water, 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 water. We got earth, 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 and earth. Wait, but yeah. There's 1, 2, 3 water cards, right? And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the earth cards. Okay. And a little bit of fire. Interesting. There's no air energy here. So I feel that this is not maybe it's not the calculation. Maybe you're not sitting there on your 10 key or whatever. I feel like this is a feeling. This is a feeling that we're wrestling with, and it's kind of like, do I do or do I not do? With the 4 of cups here, because maybe we're trying to, in a way, we're trying to feel like, what is to be gained from this? How is this the right thing? And maybe there's no swords cards here because maybe we need to think about it in a different way. I'm kind of shocked really that there's no swords here. Maybe this is something that you are not thinking about. You're just feeling it. You're trying to say, how do I feel about life as it is now? And I think anytime we feel something, it obviously is going to take place in the mind, right? Heart and mind are not separated. They're one heart and mind. They're one organ of perception or processing, right? One thing, heart, mind. So the fact that we don't have any swords, it may really be that we're not trying to weigh the options, that we're not trying to look at the spreadsheet from a distance and see if this is the right thing to do. You're trying to just feel it. You're trying to ask yourself, how do I feel about this? The Four of Cups is kind of a mixed feeling. I kind of want to, I kind of don't. I kind of want to, I kind of don't. You know, maybe the way life has been going now, it's kind of like this should be enough. This is fine. I'm happy the way it is. The Four of Cups is saying that we're not so happy the way life is going right now. I don't think there's anything major that's going wrong in your life. But when we feel a calling, when our soul is trying to get us to do something, to confront our fear of living this authentic life or going through this doorway or taking whatever this opportunity is. When we see this in front of us, suddenly now the life that I thought was wonderful and perfect, now I realize that, oh, Spirit's telling me to go this direction. Well, now there's some conflict in me. Now there's something in front of me that I either have to run away from or face. Two options, right? Because sometimes the Four of Cups is us being in this space of limbo where we've anchored the boat and we're just saying, I'm staying right, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to run away, but I'm not going to go through the doorway either. I'm just going to linger in this moment, in this safe harbor, let's say. Well, we can't stay here forever. Eventually, we're going to have to pick a direction, right, and do something. So, with these two cards together, I feel that there's a recognition here that life has to be always that there has to be movement. Okay, the 9, we're living a successful life. We're living life, functioning out in the world, in the physical world. Right? Life is going on, life is continuing. It's a 9, it's a function, it's a verb, it's an active card. The 4 is an inactive card, it's a state. It's a solid state of your heart. There's no movement in my heart right now. It's still. It's not rushing toward this thing. It's not retreating yet either. We're just we've anchored it. But we know that life has to continue moving on, and so it creates this conflict in us. And it really speaks to the Devil card too, because the Devil card is that fundamental force of change. It's the fundamental force of the universe, change. It is always moving forward. It is steadily moving forward at all times, never stops. Sometimes it feels like it slows down, but change is always, it's a very constant thing, right? And so we're kind of, we're in this position now, and I think you're somebody that, like I said, you're very focused on your spiritual development, your evolution. I feel like you've always been on this path, and now we're confronted with something that really is, like, this is the thing that Spirit's asking. It's like, I don't know, it's like this door has appeared before you, and Spirit's just like, I wonder if Taurus is going to jump through that door. Or I wonder if they're going to turn around. You know, this could be that thing that you always come up against in your life, and maybe there's a history here of, maybe more often than not, we just say, not today, Spirit, and we go the other way to confront that monster another day. It's a 2 of Cups. How is it a monster, you know? Sometimes we feel that this is the commitment, this is the merging with something that it feels uncomfortable to consider at the time, right? Because it sort of creates a new life, and we don't know what's going to become of it. We don't know what the future is going to hold when we unite with this thing. Whether this is our own soul, right? This is 2 things that are separated right now. It's you, ego, perhaps, body, right? It's somebody else. I mean, it's another person. Maybe this is someone that you know you're meant to be with, a soulmate kind of thing, but there's always been this, maybe not right now. Maybe now's not the time. Maybe down the road sometime we'll align and we'll be able to merge together and become a couple, right? Or whatever. This could be really you and your sense of purpose. I know one day I got to confront this thing. One day I got to do this. today's not the day, right? I think maybe today is the day. I think up here, the Princess of Pentacles, this is you. This is you investing in yourself and realizing that it is through uniting with your true self, or uniting with your sense of purpose, whether this is manifesting as a religious experience or a romantic situation, a soulmate, a twin flame, whatever it is, knowing that the right investment here is to merge with this. And that will convert our Princess of Pentacles into the Empress. The potential that is within you now is going to be let loose. Life will blossom in a way that you kind of never imagined. Yeah. So we're investing in ourselves, capital S, you know. But I think with the Hermit in the background, there's been a lot of you approaching this threshold and not being ready, turning back. Okay, and I feel like this opportunity, and I don't know exactly what it is. That's the problem with an ace, a 2, a 3, a 4, right? Is that they're rather still high up the tree, you know, so they're pretty vague. It's not a specific thing, and maybe you don't know exactly what it is either. That's why I think you're kind of thinking, well, I don't know what the future's going to hold. This card now is kind of looking at the past. This is the Hermit trying to go further into the past, trying to go backwards. The Death card is steadily going forward. Things are always changing. The Hermit might have this nostalgia for days gone by. Life was easier. Life was simpler. Life was easier when we just had very simple expectations, when our lives were not complicated, you know. But the Hermit cannot go backward. So I think it really is time that we confront whatever this is. And instead of trying to, with the Four of Cups, trying to make believe that we're content and happy the way things are, I can ignore my true calling. I can ignore this fiery doorway that Spirit's put in my path. I can ignore this monster in the room, this elephant in the room. If I just pretend that this isn't there, whatever this thing is that you have to confront. And by confronting, I think that it really is, it's accepting it, it's merging with it, it's becoming one. Maybe it's a kind of an integration of a shadow kind of thing. Maybe it is a twin flame, a soulmate kind of situation. Maybe it's you merging with your purpose or your true nature or being really who you are. Or if it's this idea of really merging with this idea of self-love and investing in ourselves. Right? The Hermit's turning back and going the other way because it's like, okay, I'm not ready yet. There's more work that I have to do in the past. There's more things I have to understand about what I've been through. Maybe this is about integrating the past. And we don't forget about the past. We don't cut it away and forget about it or bury it. We integrate it. We bring it into us as part of us. And we use it as kind of as fertilizer, right? To grow all the verdant energy of the Princess of Pentacles. So this can become the Empress energy, right? This is a field with no life. It's just dirt, weeds. There's no green. There's nothing growing here. Maybe some weeds. It's all dry. It's barren, right? We need to fertilize this with all of this past energy. Now, the Death card, nature is the great recycler. Nothing is wasted. All the experiences that we've been through are very much fertilizing who we are now and who we are becoming. So if there is something from your past that you feel like you're stuck in that, maybe you're stuck in the thoughts of it or the experience of it or the feelings of it or the memory of it, or we're reliving it, or we keep getting involved in similar situations that are just a repeat of that past. I think it's time that we acknowledge that and we allow ourselves to look forward and take advantage of this opportunity and merge with ourselves, whether this is again, soulmate, a twin flame, a sense of purpose, the self-love, the investment in ourselves. It could be manifesting as a new job, as a new vocation. It's going to be work, right? It's going to be work. We see the Three of Pentacles over here. We're not ignoring that card. But the Death card is the fertilizer that's going to allow this self to really grow and blossom and become the fulfillment of its potential. Okay. I feel like you've got things in storage that you keep saying, well, I'm not ready to move yet because I got all that stuff in storage and one day I got to go through it all and figure out what to do with it. Right? Or it's like a room in your house where you got just a lot of stuff and it's like, yeah, I got to go through all that stuff, maybe not today, but maybe there's a lot of memories there. Maybe there's a lot of feelings there. Once you clear all that stuff out of the room, guess what? That space now can be used. You can turn it into an art studio, a little, a meditation room. You can turn it into a little indoor garden kind of thing, or a sanctuary, or you can just store other stuff in there. It doesn't matter. But the idea here is that there's something that we know we need to do. We're just not doing it yet. We're not ready to do it. But we know it's going to be a good thing once we do it. We know it's really going to be for the best. It's just a challenging thing to do. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything, right? It supports me, and I really do appreciate that. So your general energy now is the Ace of Cups. I think this is the merging. This is the feeling that you are one with your purpose. You are one with your spiritual energy. I feel like you are... You're ready to plant the seeds of your future. You're ready to grow the lush garden. All we need to do here, it's already, the seeds are already planted, I think, right? That's the seed. The seeds are already planted. All we need to do is fertilize that with the experience, with the past, with these things that we're still sort of the hermit's kind of stuck in. And, it's almost like you have these potted plants, and the plants have withered and died, and maybe they were annual flowers or something, right? And it's wintertime, and they just sort of withered, and that's it. They're gone. They're all dried up. And all their elements, they've sort of dissolved back into the soil, but you're not ready to use that for anything. You're not willing to part with that pot. You're carrying around that pot with that dead flower in it, and it's sad, right? And it sucks, and we don't like that. What we can do is take that dirt, stir it up, mix it up, and we can maybe put that in a different pot or use the same pot even, right? Plant new seeds in there. And that old flower has become the fertilizer for that new seed that's going to grow and blossom into something extraordinary. But it's not going to happen if we're holding on to that. And we don't want to let it go. We don't want it to be used for anything else. Okay? Maybe this was a loss for you. Maybe this was a heartbreak. Maybe this was a failure for you. And now it's just kind of like, I don't want to let go of that. Well, we know once we let go of that, we take a chance on this new opportunity, and maybe we'll have that success. So we could be talking about financial stuff, work stuff, career, vocation. We could be talking about love or romance, or family, or even spirituality. Self-love, self-care, I think you're ready to plant the seeds. You know how to fertilize this, how to nourish this. You know what it could become. I think you're ready to do it. You're ready to do the work. The next card we have is the work. The Three of Pentacles. It's a card called work. Okay? You're somebody that you know what it takes to really create the garden, right? And maybe, I don't know, maybe the gardening metaphor is really right for you. Maybe you are Maybe you do have a green thumb, right? We know all the work it takes to create the luscious garden from this kind of, barren field. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It takes a lot of activity. A lot of things have to happen. A lot of things have to come together. A lot of cooperation between the weather, the soil, the water, the seeds, the sunlight. Everything's got to work together. Everything's got to conspire together to create the beautiful garden, to create the paradise, right? I really hope the mystery card is the Empress. This is your body, your soul, and your spirit, now ready to do this, knowing what it takes, committed to making this work. Whether this is a new job opportunity, a new opportunity for love or family or romance or spirituality or connection or self-love, self-development, whatever this is, you're confronting what has been maybe a source of anxiety for you, ready to put in the work, ready to cooperate with what we need to cooperate with. Maybe this is something where it's just like you don't like, maybe you had an issue with the people at work. And so that we kind of just, we're holding on to that and we're not ready to let it go. We know once we let it go and we get back to the office or whatever and we sort of start working together as a team, great things are going to happen. But we're holding on to something. We're holding on to something that's preventing us from love, preventing us from uniting with our purpose, with the plan, with the future, with progress. Okay? Now, Knight of Pentacles, we said that you have a difficult time seeing what the future is. This card is all about having that spiritual vision of how things are going to turn out. Okay? The Knight of Pentacles is standing in that barren field and trying to look spiritually with that vision, look at the future and see the Empress. Right? The Knight of Pentacles is always looking at the future, looking really at that big mountain that we've got to climb. Right? And maybe you can't see the very top of it. Maybe you're squinting at the future, you cannot see the Empress. I think you know intuitively that it's there. And this is kind of the test that Spirit provides for us. If we could see so easily the future, I think we would all do the right thing all the time, right? If I knew that later today, things were going to be so successful for me, well, then I would very happily make these decisions, today, right? If we could see the future, life would be easy. We would know what to do and what not to do. Any choice we make is altering that future. It's like Marty McFly with that photograph, right? Back to the Future. Every thought, word, and deed in the present moment is creating our future self and our future life, who we are, where we are, and what we're doing down the road. Is every moment changing and morphing and transforming subtly, sometimes in very obvious ways, depending on every thought we have, every choice we make. Okay? So in some ways, this is the card that we don't want. We don't want to try to look at the future because every time we look at it, it's going to be different. Just the simple fact of looking at it makes it different, right? It's that kind of weird thing in physics, right? The fact that we're observing it is causing it to change and to behave in a certain way. So we don't want to stress over the future. We want to know that we are making the right choices. This is an emotional choice. We're making the right choices right here and right now in thought, word, and deed in real time. The future is going to take care of itself. We don't even have to look at it. And this is you facing that fear and diving into this, being fully on board with whatever this is. Okay? Confronting your fear. This is courage. And this is the end of the path of the serpent here. This is you confronting that scary thing. Confronting this sort of stressful, kind of anxiety-laden choice. You're sort of dancing with the tiger here. You're tiptoeing around the tiger, and that's kind of scary. Dangerous, right? It could go bad. It could go very, very bad. But it's the feeling that there is really not a choice. This is something that one day, eventually, we're going to have to do it. And this, I think, is saying, well, no better time than the present. You know? The only better time would have been yesterday, but we didn't do it yesterday. So what about today? What about right now? Yeah. I think that you're answering the call. I think this is you realizing that we'll never be any more prepared than we are now. It is a risky business, you know. But fire and earth, right? That combination creates magic. The fire and the earth here is going to create, with the right kind of water here, right, and the right fertilizer, going to create that paradise. It's going to have a wonderful outcome for you. But we're making the choices right here in the present moment. We're not worried about the future. The thing about the princesses is that they are focused on right now, right here, right. These are living in the present moment, while the knight is always looking at the future. So if we're busy looking at the future, we're not acting right now in the moment. If we're acting right now in the moment, we don't have time to worry about the future. Okay, let's look at our mystery card. I'm thinking Empress or the Eon or the Moon. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. All right, let's see what we have. Oh, yes, the Judgment, the Eon Judgment, rebirth, reawakening, the baptism by fire. This is a wake-up call. This is the spiritual alarm clock, right? If the Wheel of Fortune is the spiritual timepiece, right? Spirit's wristwatch, divine timing, right? This is divine alarm clock, right? And that alarm clock is going off, and it's saying, we've got to do this now. That alarm clock is never going to stop buzzing. We can snooze it, and I think snoozing it is hermit going back to bed. We can snooze it a few times, but it's going to keep going off. What's the point of snoozing it if I only get 8.5 minutes more sleep? And then it's buzzing again. I hit the snooze button. I get 8.5 more minutes of sleep. What's the point? That's torture, right? You ever notice your alarm clocks? It's never the snooze button. It's never like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. The snoozes are always like 6.3 minutes of snooze, and it's random, right? And it's meant to be jarring and uncomfortable. You know, you get 6.5 minutes of your snooze, and it just makes you less and less likely to even bother with the snooze button. You know, it's just it's just more pain than necessary to keep hitting the snooze button. But this is that alarm clock. Spirit is blowing this trumpet in your face, saying your new life awaits you through this doorway. And it is it's a doorway of fire, right? And we got that fire card. It's a doorway of fire, but going through this and realizing that the past has to be reduced to ashes so that it can fertilize the present. Your new life awaits you. We've got to wake up. We've got to do that. We've got to rise to the challenge. We've got to wake up. We've got to get up, and we've got to answer the call. We've got to hear the summons, and we've got to be mobilized to action. This is wonderful. It's time to level up. This is that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you've been hitting the snooze button on. It's time to level up. Okay? Now, we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do a hexagram from the Jing. We'll do some oracle cards. It'll be a great time. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Taurus on Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you. I love you. Happy holidays. And we're all in this together.